Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you 186 back again with another video. I haven't done a video in a little bit. At least a proper video like this. I've been busy. Mainly, you know how it is. Work and gaming and stuff like that. So, I'll try to sprinkle in some more videos. I want to try to do a Hoovie Live, episode 2. So, I mean, whenever I get a chance, I'll drop something. So, yeah, man, I wanted to discuss this because I'm actually, interested in this conversation. Phil Spencer made, did an interview a couple days ago, and the funny thing is that, he talked about a lot of different things, like Scorpio and Xbox Game Pass, all that other good stuff. But the one comment he made has generated a lot of conversation, obviously, and it's the comment regarding single-player games and their overall impact. Now, I've seen a bunch of people talk about this on Twitter. I've seen several YouTube videos, and my opinion on this is pretty simple. I personally don't understand why this is like such a big controversy, because what he said was 100% correct. Like, those type of single player games do not have the same impact that they once had. And obviously, you look at the MPDs, you look at the top playlists, you look at Twitch top games on Twitch, stuff like that. Like, the thing that generates a lot of popularity is multiplayer games and games that generate money. He's not wrong about that. And then, to me, on that note, I'm trying to figure out why people are so upset about it. But then, for me, I think the reason why a lot of people, this is my opinion, there's several reasons why I think a lot of people are upset about what he said. One, obviously, is fanboy driven. You have a narrative, you have a preconceived narrative about a product or a person or whatever, and then, then you kind of run with it anytime they give you any type of, quote, ammo. I put that in quotation marks. So I think some of it is that. I think some of it is also kind of like, kind of goes into Microsoft's, not E3, current status right now when it comes to games. People are saying that the system has no games, and where are your single player games? Because obviously Scalebound, which I believe had a deep multiplayer component, but obviously it has a single player mode in it, got canceled. So Record came out, and and it wasn't, I don't think it did well commercially or critically. So you look at the evidence surrounding what Microsoft has done, and then people are going to say what they say about it and use his words as ammo to fuel their concerns. And to me, my overall thing about what he said is that it pretty much, his comments confirmed what the company's always been about. Like, people like to forget, or probably don't know, is that Microsoft's main objective is to make games that make money, like certified hits, games that make money, right? They want to create the Overwatches, they want to create the Rocket League, they want to create the League of Legends, games that will generate money for them. That's what they want. You know what I mean? Like, again, if it's a single player game, they'll expand on that. Like, you look at the early Xbox, right? You had a ton of games on the system that were exclusive. You know what I mean? You had you had single player games, you had games that were more multiplayer focused, you had obviously third party, second party. You had games like that all over the Xbox. The games that moved over were games that were certified hits, like Halo, obviously, Forza, and Fable. Those games moved over. Some other games, now maybe they might have made a game or two from somewhere else, maybe like a Voodoo Fence or what have you. I can't remember off the top of my head, but those are the franchises that they moved over. Why? Because those games are certified hits. Those games generate money, right? You look at what happened with the 360. You had Crackdown, was a huge success. The first one. Then do you know what they did? They made a second one. You know what I mean? Like Gears of War. The first game was a success, so they made a second one. You know what I mean? Like, if a game like with Microsoft, they have a very different business model than Sony when it comes to first party content. It's very different. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to, invest money on an IP that they don't think is going to be a success. And to me, that's kind of you've seen that throughout their history. That's what they've done. Whether you like it or not that's on you. Like that's your thing. I personally would prefer it if they created more in-house studios, but at the same time they have to do what's best for their business. And if you like their content, if you still like their game, you still like their content, nothing will change. Nothing will change. And to me, like the comment didn't really affect me at all. Like, cause I mean, he was just saying things. You know what I mean? It was just a regular article. But people went off the rails with it, and it is what it is. It is what it is. But the thing is that what him saying that is not to me, like, it's something that you kind of already see happening when it comes to them. Like, they're interested in surefire hits. If a single player game was can generate them lots and lots of money, you'll see lots more of them. But at the end of the day, that's what his goal is, to make more multiplayer games. Now, he didn't say in the article that he wasn't going to make single player games anymore. I don't believe that was said in the article. You know what I mean? He just said that those games like Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda Breath of the Wild are pretty much, they don't, like, those games are pretty much the exception. They don't have the same impact. Now, I think it's interesting that he name dropped the competitors' games. Let's say, for example, if Microsoft had a game as good as Horizon or Zelda, would he have said that? I think that's a very interesting question to say, because he name dropped the two competitors' best games that's come out this year. So I mean, would he have said that if he had, let's say, if a Scalebound was on the same caliber? I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say, but to me, at the end of the day, this has kind of been Microsoft's MO from the jump. Like, they want certified hits. Their goal is to create money makers. That's what they want. And he's all Phil did was pretty much talk about that without really saying that he's going to go full bore on it. Like, he understands the trend, and he's just talking about it. Now, like I said before, would he have said this if they had a game of that quality that came out around the same time as the other two games? I mean, I don't know. I can't really say. I'm going to assume no, but at the end of the day, even if they did, he's still not wrong. What he said was correct. It's pretty clear. But I think what's also clear, should be clear to Microsoft, or what have you, is that people still want those single player experiences. They still want those type of games, right? And if your model is based off of creating nothing but surefire hits, that's fine. But you definitely have a portion of the audience that still wants those single player experiences, who still want a good story driven game. That's what they want. And a lot of these Xbox dudes, they don't want to buy PS4s to get those experiences. They don't want, like, I wouldn't say nothing about the Switch yet, because it has one. Well, I know Mario Kart came out, but when it comes to story driven games, when it comes to the big three, Sony does it the best, and I think no one will argue that, right? They don't, and these Xbox dudes, they don't want to buy PS4s to get those type of games. So like, it's a tightrope that he has to walk. Regarding, because he said that he'd not, and he, like I said, let me reiterate, he never said in the article that he wasn't going to make single player games. He never said that. He just said he just understands the trend that's going on in the industry. And you look at MPD, you look at the top playlists on both PSN and Xbox Live, all those the vast majority of those games are multiplats. You know what I mean? You have your Overwatches, your Call of Duties, your Rocket Leagues, and your Ghost Recon Wildlands. Those all games are multiplayer focused, and those are the games that people play. And he realizes that, but I think you have to be careful with kind of trying to hone in that single player fan base, because they do exist on your platform, and I'm sure some people I know did a couple videos on this, and you have to be careful because you don't want to lose that audience. You know what I mean? Even though they may not be as strong or what have you, they may not be as big as the multiplayer audience. You still don't want to lose any type of audience to your competitor, especially when your competitor, i.e. PlayStation, has the multiplayer games from third party, plus they have a genre that you guys sorely lack in JRPGs, and they also have the single player experiences. You don't want to lose that type of you don't want to lose like that to your competitor in that fashion. So Microsoft, if they're going to continue to let's say for example, if they continue on down this path that they've been going on for years, they have to kind of like go on a tightrope regarding what do they want to do? Do they want to invest money in a single player IP, a new single player IP? You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be a tough question. Will we see games the caliber of a Last of Us or a Uncharted, Horizon Zero Dawn? Now, granted, 2 of those 3 games have multiplayer, but you get what I'm saying. So will they still be able to invest in those games while wanting to create those big money makers and make money essentially, because that's what they're in the business in doing. So it is interesting. If you try to go past all the fanboy BS, it would be interesting to see how they move forward, especially with Scorpio coming out. It will be interesting to see what they do. Now, me personally, like I said, I have my Xbox One S. I enjoy it a lot. I've been playing. Ironically enough, one of my favorite games on the system is Sunset Overdrive, which so far has a very good story, at least in my opinion. But obviously the game does have a multiplayer, but I like the story. You know what I mean? And I don't know if we'll ever get a second one, and it would be a shame if we don't get a second one, because I think the franchise has a lot of potential. But again, that's Microsoft's business model. If a game is not a surefire hit, they may not be so inclined to create a new one. And I think that's always been the difference between Sony and Microsoft. I mean, Sony will invest. Seem like, unless the game's like complete another disaster, they'll invest in the IP. They'll invest in the franchise. And Microsoft, they're not so inclined to do so. Like, Sony is definitely more inclined to do so than Microsoft. But that's, I mean, to be honest with you, that's always been the case. So I don't know why people are upset, but regardless, I'm surprised it went on a lot longer than it did. I'll probably upload this later on tonight. Anyways, this is Hoovy 186, and I'm out. Peace.